Okay, hello guys. I want to discuss molestation, okay? And I want to talk about why some black women speak out late and later in life after they're grown, after they've been molested as a child. Like, say, if they've been molested at 5, 6, 7 years old, it takes them so long to speak out. Because I hear this criticism towards, especially towards black women, the one group of women who are the most unprotected and the most silenced when it comes to their trauma. People want to know why they take so long to speak out, but don't want to wonder why they're being silenced when they try to speak out. I don't understand it. And I'm trying to understand why black women are so judged harshly when it comes to that particular subject, as if it's easy. When you're a child, the whole family likes to be silent. Okay, a lot of times the women in the family know that something is going on, that a lot of times these girls are being molested either by the father, the brother, the uncle, whoever. And a lot of times the women in the family protect the predators, they protect the rapists, and they protect the molesters. And then, it takes a while to even process what happened to you, because I promise you, when you're being molested, at 5 or 6 years old, you don't really understand what's going on. And then there's still some confusion, because especially if it's a father, you still see him as a provider. Okay, now this is a specific case that I know about. So you have a father who was a provider, who protects you, who pays for your college and do all this stuff, but yet at the same time he molested you as a child. Don't you know how confusing that is? To want to turn on somebody who was your provider but molested you as a child? And then when you finally get older, like say maybe 20 something years old, and you're finally able to talk about it, for most black women, they only stick with other black people. And that's another mistake, because the black people, for the most part, majority, are very damaged. Okay, not to say the other non-black people are not damaged themselves, but other non-black people have a little bit more freedom to express themselves. Even the women who are oppressed in a lot of these other countries outside of the United States, where women face a lot of oppression by their men, they still find comfort somewhere within each other. And I'm going to show a little documentary of a lot of these women in these Middle Eastern countries and areas, and all these different continents, that's finally standing up against these abusive, misogynistic men too. Okay, they have a whole movement going on. But yeah, so then you have a lot of black women that try to talk about it inside the church. Don't get much support there. They can probably go to some kind of counseling and talk to somebody in counseling. But other than that, it's not a whole lot of support, okay, when it comes to that. And the reason why I say that is because you might be able to find a group for rape survivors. I don't know about molestation, but you for rape survivors. But there hasn't been a whole lot of justice when it comes to this type of activity happening, especially within black communities. There's not a whole lot of justice as what you see it now with other groups of non-black women. They have a little bit more justice than black women do. Okay? Because with black women, it's not just the men who oppress the whole community that oppresses black women and girls. It's the whole community, including other black women. And so that makes it harder to speak your mind. And the ones who do speak out, you got to give them credit. Okay, they're actually really brave. Everybody's not that brave, because they know on top of their trauma, the wounds have not been healed. Their wounds are wide open. Okay, and then on top of wanting to speak up, when you do speak up, then you have the whole community that want to blame you for being molested at 5 years old on top of your open wounds. That's not easy to deal with. Because the community for the longest time have protected rapists, they have protected molesters, they have protected just criminals altogether. Okay? They have protected these guys. And so it's no wonder why these women find it hard to speak out. Okay, and another thing I'm going to say is a lot of these women, not only are they might have Stockholm syndrome, they are pro-black on top of that. So they don't even they a lot of them find it hard to expand their mind outside of the black community, outside of the black race. Okay, because a lot of them are not open to non-black people, specifically white people. Then okay, so that's another reason why a lot of them find it hard to just seek help, to speak out, and if they do talk about it, they might talk about it at their church. Okay. Uh, but yeah, so a lot of them are pro-black. They race first, and so they don't believe in getting into support groups or seeking any type of help outside of the black race. Okay, and so that's another reason why too. And so I don't want to go on too far with that. I don't have too much to say about it. But I just want to talk about, I just wanted to speak just briefly on, why some black women take so long to speak out after they've been molested. Okay. Or maybe even after they've been been raped. So yeah, when I was going to church, I was living in Cleveland, Ohio, and I used to attend this church, this mega church. It was called the Word Church in Cleveland, Ohio. I'm no longer practicing any kind of religion, but the pastor called out everybody, say if you ever been molested or raped, but I think it's mostly molestation because I think that was the topic he was mostly talking about. And he said, if you've been molested, come to the front. I saw so many elderly black women come to I saw some men too. But I saw so many elderly black women to walk to that altar. Okay, this is why I say that these are the reasons why I say it's more difficult for a black woman who's pretty much loyal to the black race, especially loyal to the black race, to find the courage to speak up about molestation, specifically molestation, because a family tells her to keep it quiet, especially elderly, especially that generation, that baby boomer generation, especially them, because you have it going on now, but especially them. They were told to be quiet. A lot of them were told that it was their fault. Okay, they were lying when it happened. All of this trauma on top of being molested, then you have extra trauma on top of trauma on top of trauma with the women in your family who are unsupportive and telling you that you're lying or you were being fast. Okay, and then you have a whole community that protects rapists, that protects molesters, that protects criminals altogether, that pretty much protect black men. Okay. But the black men they mostly protect are the ones who are predators, because they don't seem to really care about the ones who are, decent men. They don't seem to care about those guys. They mostly protect the ones who are the predators. And that's all I got to say. But yeah, just quick, you guys let me know what you have to say about this. This is a topic that has kind of been bothering me for a while, how a lot of these black women get judged for coming out so late, for speaking the truth about what happened to them. But black people, black women, black people especially have a history, as you guys know. But it's not just that. It's that so many are race loyal, pro-black, indoctrinated to protect the male at all costs. And kind of taught when they listen to a lot of these pro-black people speak, even during the 60s and 50s, they're kind of taught to be racist. They're kind of taught that nobody else will help. Nobody hates them. Okay, so a lot of these pro-black people, especially the men back in that time, used slavery and Jim Crow to indoctrinate these ladies to not trust anybody else of any other race except for black. Okay? Gosh darn it. Sorry. To not trust anybody else except for black. Okay? And so for that reason, when you have in your mind that you can't trust anybody else but a black person, then it makes it harder to really speak your truth. But with that being said, you guys let me know what you think, and I will talk to you soon.